Whether aware or unaware, everyone carries a bias or prejudice of their own against people who are unlike themselves. However, when people in positions of power hold these prejudices and act upon them, there may be dire consequences. Today, we will be focusing on how underlying misogynistic beliefs have skewed judicial proceedings since the beginning of the judiciary and have led to countless convictions of innocent women.
It took everything away from us. It took us from our families, him from his kids, took us from everything we worked for.
This happens to people. It happened to me. Please, stop.
Largely influenced by Enlightenment thought and coinciding with the abolitionist movement came a movement for women's rights in the 19th century. This movement marked the first major effort towards women's equality in American history. Some of the causes they stood for were equal wages, educational opportunities, and most prominently, suffrage. Though the movement gained much support, it faced heavy opposition by its male counterparts.
I think also because a lot of prejudice and certainly misogyny is so normalized, it's like it's right under people's noses. So when you raise it, there's kind of like we've dealt with that. Women got the vote ages ago, like this isn't a thing. And then when you start to kind of unravel it for people, they go, oh, I didn't think about that, or I didn't think about this.
Some people may argue that because of the biological differences between men and women, men are meant to fill in positions of power and authority for the good of society. Some may outright deny that these underlying sexist attitudes and motives exist in the 21st century. While a disheartening amount of cases most definitely prove that women are capable of being criminals and men are capable of being wrongfully convicted, they do not disprove the statistical evidence that nearly 75% of women exonerated in the last 3 decades were wrongfully convicted of a crime that never took place at all. Many of these so-called criminal events were later determined to be accidents, deaths by suicide, and crimes that were fabricated. Women are often invisible in the many facets of the correctional system. This invisibility can act as a form of oppression. Because there is a negative stigma surrounding the criminal justice system, people naturally assume that all convicted criminals are bad and less worthy of grace. Many don't seem to care as much about the consequences they face, even if there is speculation of innocence. Hence, the oppression of women can easily fly under the radar in this setting, illustrating the dangers of this practice. A shocking study revealed that as the rate of incarceration for women rises, the proportion of women imprisoned for violent crimes continues to decrease. This is an alarming phenomenon which demands to be absolved. No matter how irreversible these issues may seem, there are practical steps which can be taken in order to enact change. For instance, we could work to place more female judges in the court, whether that be on a district or a federal level. There are currently 94 district courts functioning across our nation, and of these 94 courts, there are currently 203 female judges, while there are 418 male judges. In the state of California, Superior Court judges are elected by county voters, so whether or not you're an eligible voter, you probably know someone who is. Start conversations, shed light on this topic, which so easily slips away from public news coverage. One of the most practical steps that anyone could take is bringing awareness to this issue. The successes of certain efforts, such as Northwestern Law's Women's Project, demonstrate the importance of civic participation, as well as the impact that each individual has the potential to make. For the longer these issues persist, the more difficult they will be to reverse in the future, and the more polarized our rising generations may become.